Now, we've talked a lot about quarterback, but we haven't talked a lot about Brock Purdy. And the reason that we haven't talked a lot about Brock Purdy is that there's been so much dialogue about Darnold versus Lance, Lance versus Purdy, Lance versus Allen. Are they going to trade Trey? Trey this, Trey that. Trey just sucked all the oxygen out of the room. No offense to him, no fault of his own, but the conversation when it came to quarterback has all been about the backup quarterback, and we really have not talked that much about who Brock Purdy is and what exactly he's headed for as far as a career. Mark Willard from 95.7 The Game on Twitter has a prediction poll out. He said, "What's your prediction on who Brock Purdy is destined to be?" And he gives you three options. And to me, there should be a fourth option here. But he's got not the guy, a middling starter, or a legit NFL quarterback one. And it's like we're afraid to throw one more level on there. Is it possible that Brock Purdy's damn good? Is it possible that Brock Purdy is more than not the guy, more than a middling starter, more than just a legit starting NFL quarterback, that he's a very good top tier NFL quarterback? 64.4% are going with the top level here, which is a legit NFL QB1, which I would as well in this pool, in this poll. He's not, to me, he's definitely not a middling player. And I'm well beyond the idea that, oh, yeah, he's not the guy. He's going to be a backup. He's going to be a bust. I don't believe that at all. I think there's another level that Mark didn't include here because he doesn't want to be overly glowing. But it's like it seems like we're almost like afraid because he's not the biggest guy, and because there's people that have Jimmy Garoppolo scar tissue and maybe Trey Lance expectation scar tissue, that they just won't. People won't even allow themselves. I mean, Mark put out this poll. He wouldn't even allow for the opportunity to say Brock Purdy is going to be a very good top tier NFL quarterback. He didn't even include that as an option because he's like doesn't believe it's an option, or doesn't want to be that glowing, or doesn't want to give that as an option. I mean, to me, that's the answer. I think he's going to be a very good top tier NFL quarterback. Is he going to be a superstar, Mahomes, Allen, best quarterback in the league? Probably not. He doesn't have that kind of physical skill set, but I think he's going to be more than just a legit NFL starting quarterback. What do you think? You've watched Brock all summer. You've watched him all last year. What did you think last summer? What do you think now?
Having watched Brock Purdy last summer, having watched him during the regular season, watching him now, I will say that when it comes to Brock Purdy, I think this is a guy that if he continues on the path that he started last season, he's going to be a Pro Bowler. He's going to be the first 49ers Pro Bowler since 2003 when Jeff Garcia made it. On top of that, if he continues at that level, he's going to become the first 49ers 4,000-yard quarterback since Garcia did in 2000. The numbers are just there. They all match up. And he just needs to stay healthy, play 17 games, or if he can make over 515, 520 throws this season, he's going to hit those numbers. So in terms of this poll, he's a legit quarterback, number one. I think there's a potential that he could become he's not your prototypical franchise type quarterback, but you've talked to Willie Snead, and a lot of, he keeps bringing up the same guy in terms of the quarterback from
Drew Brees.
Drew Brees, right? And that's kind of who I would say if he's going to be a top level guy, he's going to be Drew Brees with a little bit more mobility. He doesn't have the huge arm, but this guy can make every throw that the 49ers want you to make. He can move around in the pocket. If he just plays within the structure of Kyle Shanahan's offense and then takes his ability at times when things break down to get out of structure, I think his numbers are going to go off the charts, and I think everything else is going to follow. I did a show last week where I went through all the numbers. Basically, it was, what people aren't telling you about Brock Purdy. And you compare his numbers last year to Patrick Mahomes in terms of average depth of target, in terms of basically every statistical category you can think of. And they're so similar. And yeah, he's got better talent around him in Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk and Christian McCaffrey and all that stuff. But the numbers are there. The productivity is there. If he stays healthy, I think legit QB1 easily, damn good QB on top of it. And I do agree with you. I think people are afraid to say it because, well, they either don't want to be wrong or they just feel like, there's just so many times when if you come out and you say this is going to be the real deal, you got 20 people screaming at you that you're full of baloney. So, and I think sometimes that's what people get tired of.
Well, and there's been so much talk about his limitations because there were so many people that were advocates for other candidates that I think people, his flaws have, that conversation has been had over and over and over again. And as far as his special traits, that's like, but, and it's like almost like that conversation always is dead in its tracks. Ricky Williams says, does Brock get any MVP votes this year? Well, if he does in a full season what he did last year in 5 games, he had 13 touchdowns, 4 picks. So let's just in 5 games, let's say you times that times 3. Now you got 39 touchdowns and 12 picks. So 39 touchdowns and 12 picks would be almost MVP type numbers.
Yeah, I think I was on your channel on the game on the channel. You guys had Coach Mariucci, and he talked about the 49ers being a Super Bowl team with Brock Purdy, right? And my feeling of that is if he's accurate and the 49ers are a Super Bowl team this year with Brock Purdy, they go on to win the Super Bowl. Brock Purdy is going to be in that MVP conversation. He's going to get MVP votes because his numbers are going to be such that they're going to warrant that conversation. It's going to be in that same discussion as last year with Jalen Hurts and stuff like that. When a quarterback and is playing at a high level and the team is winning at a high level, that almost always goes hand in hand. Those numbers that he put up last year, like you just said, if you put those out over a full season, those are MVP type numbers. And I don't feel bad saying that. I think that if he has a season, he's able to carry that out for 17 games, he's going to be in that MVP conversation. No doubt in my mind.
It's a big question about health for sure. Evoke donates, is that £5? He says, can he be the best of 2 worlds, being in this scheme and the plan fails yet or still creative and evasive? Yeah, I think he's got the advantage of being in a scheme with a great play caller. He's also got the advantage of having a nice array of weapons around him, but he also has the ability to buy himself extra time. He's got mobility to make plays off schedule and to extend plays, and I think we're going to see more of that. I think we're going to see more of that as the season goes on. This first game's a huge challenge because the Steelers have such a killer edge rush.